thrifting ain't easy, unless you're watching me. Welcome back! You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown, where we bring Hollywood home on a budget. And we're just about ready to wrap up this week of videos explaining to you why black art matters, highlighting the contributions of African Americans, well-known and not so well-known, in pop culture. So what's the word of the day? Yes! 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 Sorry to get all Daniel Bryan on you, but the word of the day is indeed yes. And you're about to find out why saying only yes for 1 year can lead to discoveries you never knew about yourself and the world. And here to guide us is Shonda Rhimes. If you don't know who Shonda Rhimes is, you might not be familiar with the shows Grey's Anatomy, Private Practice, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder, The Catch, or Bridgerton. If you've seen any of those shows, you know Shonda's work, and you owe part of your binge-watching experience and maybe a part of your lives to her. I owed 25% off a $1.99 to Unique Thrift Store in Patterson for this Simon & Schuster published purchase. And as it turns out, Shonda has quite a way with words, even when she's not scribing for some of the most memorable characters in the history of binge-worthy television. Shonda, take it away.
What's interesting for me about The Year of Yes is that it turned out to not be a book really about saying yes as much as it turned out to be a book about what happens when you open yourself up to change and the transformative abilities that we all have inside of us. It also just allowed me to discover so much about myself and to realize how simple it is to do something that feels so difficult. It feels so hard for us to make a giant change in our lives, and it's actually much more simple than we think it is. One of the surprising things that came through the writing of the book was discovering the intensity of my relationship to a fictional character, discovering how close I was to the characters that I had been spending all of this time with creating and writing, and what that meant to who I was and had been for my entire life. Creating characters turns out to be something that I've been doing since I was a child. And so for me, that was really an amazing thing. There's a lot of talk about Christina Yang in this book and what that character meant for me. And so in terms of the shows and in terms of weaving anything about that in and out, there's a lot of interesting stuff about her final season. That was really special. What was really great about this whole experience was that there are all these things that you think are very serious and transformative, but there was a lot about it that was really sort of crazy and felt fun and amazing. I filmed an hour-long special with Jimmy Kimmel, and I don't know if anybody's ever spent an hour with Jimmy Kimmel, but it's a pretty amazing experience and a terrifying one. I got to guest star on the Mindy Project, which was also really just hilarious and strange for me, somebody who's absolutely not an actor, getting to spend time doing like a little guest spot on a television show. I was on the cover of a magazine, which felt bizarre for, a completely normal, regular person who's not a size 0 being on the cover of a magazine. And you start to feel like, oh, this is what it's like. And you sort of try to have the confidence of somebody who gets to do those things. And it starts to be a lot of fun. I mean, you start to get to walk in somebody else's shoes and enjoy it. One of the most beautiful things about The Year of Yes is the discovery that you may not think that you need to be saying yes or that you have the ability to say yes. But the reality of it is if you're not actively choosing to say yes to change or fixing your life or doing something positive, you're still saying yes anyway. There's this part of you that's saying yes to doing something negative. You're saying yes to giving up. You're saying yes to letting go. You're saying yes to all these things that you don't think that you're saying yes to, but you are kind of actively choosing those in the same way that you could actively be choosing something positive.
So that's her describing the audiobook companion to this paperback publication, which unsurprisingly is a New York Times bestseller, but really she's describing the book as a whole, and how you too can dance it out, stand in the sun, and be your own person. There are a couple of other yeses that I should point out here as we go over this full color photo inset here. 2 yeses were for giving a couple of speeches. One honoring women in entertainment for the Hollywood Reporter. the other giving a commencement address at Dartmouth University in Dartmouth, New Hampshire. And then there's another yes to becoming more of a fun mom. You see, she was getting ready to go to another black tie event, but beforehand, her 3 children, Harper, Emerson, and Beckett, wanted her to play in the mud with them in their backyard. She could have said no, but instead, she said yes, in keeping with this year-long yes-only experiment, with only a couple of no's thrown in for good measure. So that was one important yes that made her feel even more free than she was before. And might I add, she's quite a proud, doting single mom. One of the 2 or 3 no's given in this book is no to getting married, having met a guy that she actually kind of liked at a wedding for one of her, I think, Grey's Anatomy cast members or crew members, I don't know. There was like over a dozen weddings at the time on that show, cast and crew alike. Anyway, she liked him, but she stated that she's not the marrying type. She thrived on being a single mom, and still does. So it be. And she felt even freer to say no to that commitment. Well, Shonda, you do you. You white you. You scribe you. You think you. And I know there are many people in Shondaland that would love to take another ride in that imagination of yours. You'll also see a yes to giving her best friend character the send-off she deserved on Grey's Anatomy. Her favorite TV character of all time is Christina Yang, played by Sandra Oh. She is a central figure in Shonda's life and in this book, which garnered rave reviews from the Washington Post, the LA Times, and the Daily News, the New York Times, the Chicago Tribune, and many other venerable publications and outlets. This retails for $16 in the US, not a bad price, $19.99 in Canada. Simon and Sister, fine looking woman, and might I say, pretty thick imagination. Why the heck not? 5 out of 5 claps. I'm saying yes to the match because Shonda, in some way, actually says thank you. Not directly, but mentions her gratitude to anyone who's ever watched even one episode of one of her shows. It means at least once she did something right, and for that, she is beyond grateful. By the way, this is also a book club edition, which means there are plenty of questions and prompts that those who are holding a book club can ask to their members about how this book will touch them, how they can read the book, and take key lessons from it, and enhance their book club meetings. Putting together a playlist so that you can dance it out at the end, watch your favorite Shondaland shows with the book club, and go back to how it all began for her with these key shows. What's your favorite of the Holy Trinity that Shonda did over the years? All 3 shows she created, Grey's Anatomy, Private Practice, or Scandal? Why don't you let me know in the comments? In the meantime, I'm pretty sure once you pick this up, the year of yes, with all its hard-earned troops, will be an easy yes for you. And I wish you a weekend worth dancing about. Thanks for tuning in. Just so you know, there's no limit to bringing Hollywood home on a budget. Please go ahead and check out another awesome review like this one by clicking here, and make sure you subscribe by clicking here. Until next time, I'll catch you, as I always do, on the thrift side.